Hello and welcome to this episode of Ambitious Hippies. Today we're going to talk about the most Instagrammable place I have ever been in my entire life, Rainbow Mountain in Peru.
Oh shit, you throwing it out there. The most Instagrammable? Was that what you just said?
Instagrammable.
Instagrammable.
Yeah, like Instagrammable. Yeah, I like how you blurred that all together. We've been to a lot of places that are the places that you do it for the gram, where you're like, oh, I see what you're doing here, girl. Work it, own it. But Rainbow Mountain was the one that when I saw it, I'm like, I have to go there. There was nothing else. There was nothing else that I knew about it except it looked really cool on Instagram. I didn't tell you that before we went.
Well, you knew that, but you knew more than I knew because
on the podcast.
Because I knew nothing about it. I didn't research it. I didn't look it up. I had no idea what to expect, and it delivered. Maybe because I had zero expectations. I don't know.
You didn't even know what was going on. So usually when we travel, I'm picking places that I at least know something about. You know, like going to the Great Wall, or even seeing the David, or
Machu Picchu,
like Santorini,
the
like
Colosseum.
I knew, like there were things. This was not that. I'm like, dude, it looks cool on Instagram. I'd like to go take some pictures, and that's 100%.
Well, it was just discovered, what they say, in 2009 because the glacier melted. So it's not like a super touristy attraction. It's the second. It's the second most frequent. Jesus, what is wrong with me right now?
Let's say visited instead of frequented. Words are hard.
The second most visited attraction in Peru, behind Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Words are hard. It's been a day, all right?
So that's why we're going to have some fun with you listening. Thank you so much for tuning in, because it's about to get wild and weird, which is how we like to keep it here. So we're going to tell you the real story of what happened with Rainbow Mountain, because there were a lot of twists and turns along the way. So Rainbow Mountain came after we found out that we couldn't hike the Inca Trail up to Machu Picchu. And this was already planned. I'm doing it for the gram. Like, I'm dragging you with me, but I don't plan in a way to where I know the details. I don't like to know all of the details, because for me, that's where the fun kind of gets killed. So having little to no expectations on how long it takes to get there, what I can expect from the hike, is kind of where I like to live. I like to live in that sweet spot. So it takes about 3 hours to get there.
It was a hike. Yeah.
So you have to leave, depending on if you do the long hike or the shorter hike. There are 2 hikes up to Rainbow Mountain. We opted for the shorter one. But if you're taking the bus from Cusco, you're leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we did the shorter hike, and we had our tour guide and our driver, and we still had to leave at 5 a.m.
Yeah, it was an early morning. And let's just throw out there, the short hike is still a hike. All right.
Like, we're going to get into the hike.
I don't know. I mean, the longer hike, I guess, if you're just into that shit, but man, like, the view is going to be the same no matter what. Like, and our guide was like, this is the better route. We're like, well, you're the guide, so we're going to follow your instructions.
I will follow you.
We didn't know. Like, on the way there, he's like, would you rather do the shorter hike or the longer hike? Because we left so early that you
The question I always ask, what do you recommend? The shorter one. Let's do the shorter one then.
Do you think he was sizing us up? Like, I don't know if they can make one.
But I feel like we look pretty healthy. Like, we're pretty healthy individuals. We're still young. Like, I'm going to throw that out there. Like, we're in our mid-30s. Well, I'm in my mid-30s. So we're still pretty young.
Now all of a sudden I'm worried about something that I've never been worried about before, which is like hiker shame. Like, am I not wearing the right outfit to be a hiker?
He could have very well have been like, oh man, these two are going to struggle on the long hike. We better recommend the short hike.
Okay. So we do the short hike. We get there and take the 3 hours, and it's a beautiful drive. And when we get there, there are 2 villages that have checkpoints before you get in, where they collect an entrance fee. It hasn't been taken over by the Ministry of Culture, which is like their Parks and Rec. So these 2 villages get to collect a fee for every single vehicle that goes in to see Rainbow Mountain.
Not only every single vehicle, every single person that's in every single vehicle has to pay.
So we're in the highlands of the Andes. And my question, as we're approaching the first pit stop here, the first toll, is why doesn't somebody just drive through that? Like, what keeps somebody from going around? And our tour guide said, well, there are 2 groups of people that can carry weapons in the country of Peru. The first group is the police, and the second group is the people of the highlands. And I'm like, oh, we are in the Wild West. Like, it is untamed. There is something so magical about finding places in the world where you are well aware that you are a guest in nature's house. Like that is an indescribable feeling. And you know it when you get there. You know it when you're like, I am in the wilderness. I am in a different orbit, plane, sphere, whatever it is.
Straight Wild Wild West. I mean,
Wild West.
Our guide said that people, they will have fights up there because people will come and try to take land or take animals, maybe try to rob the village. And they have battles, shoot each other, and no cops are called. Like, who knows? Bodies just get buried out there in the highlands somewhere. Nobody knows. This is the Wild Wild West. We're like, oh, okay. That's why they're just collecting money and nobody's doing anything about
they
it.
Can defend themselves, because immediately we're like, okay, well, why aren't they getting robbed? Because you think about these two villages that are collecting all this money every single day.
Lots of money.
So it's all starting to come together, which is such a cool feeling. Like we can't even see any colors of the mountain and we're already like, oh, we're in it. Like, I'm so glad we signed up for this. There's alpacas everywhere. There's llamas everywhere. Like, it's an incredible experience to be in the highlands of the Andes with the people of the land. You're like, yes, I am here. So we get up and we park. And luckily, he has brought walking sticks, our tour guide, for us, because I am unaware that when we start, we are at 14,000 feet in elevation. That is our base point. And we are going to hike up to 16,300-ish, give or take. I didn't bring a pole. I didn't bring a walking pole. I was not prepared.
14,000 feet is high.
To start. I mean, like, that's what you hike up to in Colorado.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Pikes Peak in Colorado is 14,200 feet. And that's where we started.
The air is thin.
The air is thin. And to hike up another 2,000 feet in elevation.
Yeah. So
what the hell?
So I'm overly confident because I've spent some time in Colorado and in Lake Tahoe. I am humbled very quickly when I land in the country of Peru. I spent a long time training for this, and the whole time I kept thinking, okay, you just have to be physically prepared. And I didn't even consider the altitude to be so extreme. Like, I thought, okay, we'll do what it takes. We will acclimate, but it feels like I have the flu. And I realized, oh God, we're going to start at 14,000 feet. I'm thinking, where's those fucking boost cans when I need them? They don't have that. They're like, here's some coca tea. Here's a coca mint. Here's some agua florida.
You know what? I wish I would have had some coca leaves. I would have tried some coca leaves on that hike, giving me some energy.
So we go through, we pay.
Maybe a little bit more than energy. I don't know.
More than energy. So we pay, and it's roughly $5 per station. So we pay $10 a piece to get in. $20. And you have the option when you get to the base camp, you can rent horses, you can rent four-wheelers, you can rent dirt bikes, or you can just be like us and say, you know what? I'm overly confident. It's 14,000 feet. I'm already huffing for air. I'll be fine with my one walking stick, my one trekking pole. I got this. I'm like, okay, we're good. Weaver, we good? Yes. All right. So we head up 14,000 feet. Michael has the camera that I am looking into right now, the big giant baby around his neck, and we start going.
Yeah, start taking pictures.
Da, 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 da,
I'm
da.
Mr. IG husband. Let's get some nice pictures. Go. Actually, I am very good at that. I'm a good IG husband, okay? But I just love taking pictures. I love taking pictures in the wild. I love taking pictures of animals. I was in my element.
You were in your element so much that what happened?
We going there?
Yes.
We gotta talk about how I fell in a hole. Okay. So rule number one for anybody that's out there taking pictures: don't be looking through the camera hole as you are like walking and turning around when you are on a trail. That was my biggest learning lesson. So I'm trying to
get your feet set before you take a picture.
So we're hiking and we hike right by this like little rock ledge. It's not even anything special. I'm like, oh shit, this would be a good picture of like the rock ledge in the background. So automatically I start to turn around, raise the camera, eye hole. I'm turned around, not looking. I'm too close. So I start to back up. All of a sudden, leg goes down in the hole, feels like 5 feet. It's really like 2 feet. I tumble, go into a just fetal position, trying to protect the camera. That is my major concern. I don't try to protect myself. I instantly go into the fetal position, camera cradled in the stomach, hand grabs the camera, and all I hear is, "Babe, you okay?" So I must have thumped the ground pretty.
We are just getting started. And I am ahead of you because that is our hiking order. I have to be in front of him. I don't feel like I never like to feel like I'm like chasing. So I'm like, okay, I'm in front of you. That way, if I fall backwards, you can catch me. If I fall backwards, because I'm the one who is always, when we're hiking, rock, watch that rock, because I am always tripping over things. So when I hear doom, 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 I'm like, what the hell? So I turn and look around. I'm like, are you okay? Because there was a part of me inside that's like, what just happened? How did you fall?
Yeah, that's the same thing that was going on inside of me. What just happened?
We just get started. Dude rolls his ankle. We're at 14,000 feet. We have to get up to 16,300. What are we doing here? What does he do? Dude gets up, checks the camera, shakes it off, and takes off. I'm like, what? Did you find coca leaves? And I did not. What is happening?
Man,
there?
I did. I popped right up.
Right up.
And
I was like, God, and I am like overly, those people that just show up and just raw dog life. Like there's no preparation needed. I would need like the full kit and caboodle. Michael Weaver rolls his ankle, pops up. I'm like,
look, transparently,
what is in your DNA?
My knee, at first I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? I mean, I instantly had knee pain.
I hurt my knee. It was smoky too.
And my ankle, I definitely could tell I rolled it a little bit. But I knew that if I could just get up and get walking, that hopefully I would walk it off, in which I did. All right, it walked off. It didn't really bother me the whole 2,000 feet elevation hike. So I'm lucky. To this day, like I'm lucky that I had on my hiking boots and that they protected my ankle, or else I'd have been hollering at the pony and been like, I need to ride up this mountain.
Oh gosh. So this is a straight up incline because from 14 to 16.5, 16.3, somewhere around there, the height's going to keep getting bigger this episode.
I roll my ankle about 14,300.
Yeah. You're going to do this in an hour. So you look like you're going straight up because you are. You are hiking straight up and you're watching the donkeys pass you, not the donkeys, but the horses pass you and the llamas and the alpacas all around you. There's dogs running around and you're thinking, everyone's having a great time. This is fantastic. Do you know what's going on in my head? After my husband has rolled his ankle and popped up, I am huffing and puffing so much. The air is thin. All I can think in my head is Miley Cyrus, the song The Climb. Oh, fucking Miley Cyrus was in my head the whole time. It's the climb. It's the climb. I'm like, oh my God, no, this is hell. This is absolute hell. All I can hear is this song as I am huffing and puffing, trying to get up this mountain, and everyone around me is just having a great time. I'm like, you know what?
I think that was your inner voice saying everybody else is having a great time. There were a lot of individuals just like you, not like me, just like you, they were struggling. Like, and you weren't struggling because of the hike itself. You were struggling because of your lung capacity. Like the
altitude got me.
Like you had to have felt like you were probably breathing out of a tiny
like
little hole.
Through a straw.
Yeah.
Felt like I was sucking air through a straw.
And I didn't know how to support you at that point in time. I'm just like, okay, what I know I don't want to do is get in front of her because then I'm going to feel like we're getting away from her. So I'm like, okay, I need to stay behind. I need to just probably be positive and be like, you got this, you can do this. But I'm like, at the same time, she may be like, stop with the positive reinforcement,
which I would definitely say.
So I was just like, I don't know how to support you here, but every time you needed to stop, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Let's stop. Let's get a breather. This is a great viewpoint. Let me take some pictures.
which was great. It was a huge humbling lesson for me to take a break when I need.
Yeah.
And it also, if I'm being really honest, it made me I was so pissed at 20-year-old me who used to just puff on Marlboro Lights and cranberry vodkas the whole time. I'm like, you dumbass. Like now here you are in your 30s thinking you're going to be all cool hiking up to Rainbow Mountain and you sound like you can't make it. Like, come on, get it together. Like, this is what's going on. This is my inner dialogue. I'm rotating between
we both
being mad at Miley Cyrus for being like stuck in my head and also being mad at a tiny
So we
version.
both had dumbass moments on the trip. You were like, gosh, how about those Marble Reds? I was like,
Marble Reds. Whoa. Marble Lights, not Marble Reds. You took
I
it to
don't know the
extreme.
difference. All right.
I know. This dude's never
And
smoked, never smoked a cigarette in his entire life. And that's why I'm thinking, man, that's it. That's the problem. I blame the cigs.
And then my dumbass is falling in holes, rolling ankles, man. So
Let's get to the mountain, though.
That's part of it. Let's get to the mountain.
So we make it. Spoiler. We get to the top. And as you are starting to make it to the top of the mountain, you start to see all the different colors. Now, I know Instagram is overly filtered. There are photoshopped pictures of this. There is something about seeing this in real life that I don't care, the best Photoshop picture will never do it justice. To be able to experience that with other people, and you get up there and there's llamas with sunglasses on. Okay, I'm not shitting you. They are wearing sunglasses. So they too have hiked this hike and they're there ready for the photo op. Did I take the picture? You bet your ass I did. Yeah. I took a selfie with the llama. I had lots of pictures taken with the llamas with the sunglasses. I paid that toll. Absolutely. I hiked all the way up there to see Rainbow Mountain, all the way around. It's freezing cold because you are so high, but it is incredible because there's glaciers, the Andes Mountain, all these different colors.
Mm-hmm.
The green and red valley, like to look for miles and miles and think this is untamed.
Yeah, it's for it just to have been found less than a decade ago or right at a decade. I'm gonna put this out there.
Oh gosh. Okay,
I'm gonna put this out there that Rainbow Mountain is prettier, and maybe I would prefer to, if I went back to Peru, I'm gonna go to Rainbow Mountain over Machu Picchu.
Oh my gosh. So if you had to pick,
and Machu
You've seen
Picchu is
both.
one of the, so there's something about Machu Picchu that's also special. So I shouldn't probably compare the two, but it's hard not to because I'm in Peru. But here, let's just say this. If you are in Peru, Rainbow Mountain is an absolute must see. If you are going just for Machu Picchu, Picchu is going to meet and exceed your expectations. I do not want to take anything away from Machu Picchu. It was special. It was amazing. It's going to be everything that you expect. Rainbow Mountain is an absolute must see. Yeah. If you go to Peru, you have to see Rainbow Mountain. It is special and it is unlike anything I have ever seen in my life.
Woo! I would agree. And there's something so satisfying about having to hike that.
Oh man.
Having to hike something that's
the best part.
Incredibly challenging. Like this is the reward at the end. It's so satisfying.
Yes. Like I would,
that's a feeling.
I would actually recommend don't rent the dirt bikes, don't rent the four-wheelers, don't rent the horses. If you're capable of walking and doing the hike, walk and do the hike because there is something amazing about what you see on the way up with the llamas and the alpacas out in the pasture, but just the hike itself, the views you get. But then when you get there, you're like, I did that shit. Mm-hmm. I just hiked because you look back down to where you came from and you can't even see where you can't even see where you started. Like it is the amount of satisfaction plus the view. I mean, when you take it all in, you're like, damn, this is special.
Yeah. So you hit that spot, which is, you described it perfectly. It is such a feeling. And then you can actually go up to the top, which is where it's just another like 200 feet where you hike up to the point where you can take your picture and you can celebrate, which high five, we did it. Yeah. Very cold to be up that high. The wind is blowing, the air is cold. You're literally hanging on to the top of your coat.
Well, the picture
up by your face where you're just like, ooh.
What was it? The picture we took, we were at 16,200 or 300 feet.
Oh, as the episode has gone on, we should probably up it, make it higher. Now I think it's like 16,300, 16,260 or something. I don't know. We have a picture. We took a picture with not just the point, but on the watch.
Yeah. On the watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Such a great experience. Here's the other thing that I'm going to tell you that I witnessed happening in real time. You hike up there You wait in line to take a picture, which please know if you go anywhere that is touristy, anything that if you have seen it on Instagram, somebody else has too. There are going to be people there. It is okay. It is okay. Just know that there are people there. You're just going to have to stand and wait in line. But here's the thing. If you have spent the money, hiked the hike, waited in the line, when it is your turn to take a picture, you take as many freaking pictures that you want. You stand there, you take all the poses, you do all the duck lips, you throw up all the peace signs, however long it takes, because you have earned that shit. Okay. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel weird about it. Take as many pictures as you freaking want to.
And take your time. Yeah. Cause this is something this is something you actually really helped me out with, because this is something where I almost feel on the inside, like, okay, hurry up, get the picture, move on.
Somebody's waiting.
And so you do a really good job of counterbalancing, because I've gotten better throughout the years. Used to, I would have just been like, all right, let's take the picture and roll. But you make what you just said is spot on. You've waited in line just like everybody else. The line's really not going to go any faster, even if you speed up your thing by 1 minute or 2 minutes. So be in the moment. Take the view, take as many pictures as you want, and do not feel bad about it, because there's nothing to feel bad about. And that's what I have had to overcome throughout the years. And even at that moment, we had taken a few pictures and I'm like, okay, baby, you ready? And you're like, no, we still have lots of pictures to take. And so I was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah. You're never going to see these people
That's
again.
a really great point, though. It is a great point, because I know that there's some of you out there right now that probably are like myself, that start to feel like you're bothering, like not necessarily bother, but you need to hurry up and that your turn is over. And that's just not the case. Like, take as many pictures as you want, do your thing, take it all in, and then move on when you're ready.
Yeah. And don't feel weird about posing that people are looking. People don't care.
People don't care.
They do not care. They're just waiting for their turn. So
if anything, you're giving them ideas for their pictures.
Yeah.
So do your thing.
Yeah. So take as much time as you possibly want to and can in those moments across the board, wherever you travel. Always remember that, please, if nothing else, because these are the pictures that you keep forever. This is what you show your family. This is what you show your friends. This is what you have to remember these moments. This is it. So you probably won't ever be in this spot ever again, at least not in the same situation. So soak it up. So that's the big thing about Rainbow Mountain. It is incredible. It is a must-see if you are in Peru.
So many colors.
So many colors. It doesn't
red,
even seem
green,
real.
blue, yellow, like tints of like so many different colors. It really looks like a rainbow. Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of Rainbow Mountain, you have a glacier that's like 23,000 feet up that you see. It's an incredible experience. It is an absolute must-see. Put it on the bucket list.
When you are heading out of Rainbow Mountain, as you descend, and I'm glad that you brought up the four-wheeler, like don't take that if you can. If you are capable, please walk it. The other thing is when you climb altitude that fast, your body doesn't have time to adjust. So on the backside of that, we were seeing a lot of people that were needing oxygen because they climb so quickly in the four-wheelers. But there are two hands that they have just worked on installing. Some of the best pictures that we took were actually when you go up to Rainbow Mountain, you're going to see the line where you're going to take pictures in front of it. You're going to do your thing. You're going to twirl, peace sign, duck lips, whole bit. As you start to walk back, pause for just a second and turn around, because that was where we got the spot where there weren't people. You couldn't see people in the background as much, so we could crop the photo. So some of the absolute best photos that we took aren't right in front of Rainbow Mountain. It's just a few steps back away from the crowd because you're high enough in elevation.
Few steps, like 200 feet.
Yeah. Few steps, big giant.
But it's
jumps.
cool. They put these hands up, and of course they are going to charge you for them.
Pay the money.
You got to pay the toll. Pay the toll. Do it. It's worth it. The view was awesome. The pictures turned out pretty damn good.
Hey, great job. You earned that.
It just wasn't
spot.
me. It was our guide too. But I'll take that.
So we descended. We earned our walk back.
And let's just say, if you're not huge hikers, like we don't have a lot of experience of climbing high in elevation, the way down is way easier. Way easier. No stopping. You don't have to worry about your breathing. Like you're just rolling.
You're going side to side, bringing her down. So we made it back, and Michael made the whole trip. No complaints of his ankle. No worries. But then we have a 3-hour car ride that we have to sit in. And when we arrive at our hotel. Here's where my skill set comes into play. So Michael might be a ninja when it comes to recovering from injuries. He might be out here raw dogging life, just living his best life. But when it comes to being resourceful and finding medical attention when needed, I'm your girl. I'm the girl that can solve a crisis. So we find a pharmacy. I communicate very poorly in Spanish of what we need for an ankle brace. And we do it. We get out, wrap the ankle up, and enjoy a night of room service and 90s movies.
Mm-hmm.
So Rainbow Mountain was everything and so much more. Do you have anything else to add about Rainbow Mountain and this story from our Ambitious Hippies travels?
I think I've said my piece. All right. I compared it. I said it. You have to see it just like you have to see Machu Picchu. And I will stand by that. I will stand by that. I don't want to compare the two because they're so much different.
Very different.
And I think you have to see two. Like I was going to say, oh, you got to, if I had to pick one, I couldn't pick one. Like if you're there in Peru, you got to see both of them.
Well. Yep. And take so many pictures.
Hell yes. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. That was so much fun to relive. Thank you for listening to this episode of Ambitious Hippies. If you loved it, do me a favor. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Let me know what was your favorite part. And if I missed anything from Rainbow Mountain, just let me know if there's anything that you would like to add or if you have a fun Ambitious Hippies travel story. Again, thank you so much. Stay wild, friends.